And, that takes me to a place of a lot of people look at sexuality as a choice. And others say that no, like you're genetically predisposed to feel one way. And to be honest with you, I don't know. I know that I like women, and I can acknowledge that, hey, that's a nice looking guy right there. But I can just say that's a pretty dog too. And you know what I mean? Like I can acknowledge I'm comfortable enough in my sexuality that I can acknowledge that someone's an attractive individual, but not be attracted to them, right? Like, hey, that's a pretty house there, but I want to live in it. So how do you deal with those conversations? Because again, you're in the South. Like I currently live in California. Conversations like that aren't really taboo. It's more of an accepted lifestyle. But again, I was in Cartersville. Shit. In December, and I got looked at crazy for going certain places in a mask. So with that culture, what is it like for you when you're hearing some of these things, especially from people that you love?
So it takes me back to, actually dealing with my grandmother. She is passed now. Bless her heart. She was always warm welcome. She was a smile on her face. She basically was the glue to the family. And I never actually got to sit down and have a conversation with her about my feelings, my sexuality, my upbringing, and things like that. I mean, of course, she raised my mother and father. I mean, well, really my mother. But I regret not having that conversation with her. And I think if I had that conversation with her, she would have been an icebreaker for everybody in the family. Now, going out into public places and having, people look at you cross-eyed, or people saying, well, he's a homo or he's a fag, or, you shouldn't talk to him because he likes other men. Well, it takes it back to the time, even in the world verse of their Christian society, they sent centurions out to fight the battle. Guess what? Centurions were out 6 to 8 months, 9 months, maybe even a year with other males. Okay. Where was their female? There was not one. There were only men out there. So guess what? Men lied with men at that time. Was it taboo? Yes. Is it still taboo in the South? Yes. But guess what? The society is moving towards whatever you feel like as a person, because the millennial generation that is growing up with us now, because we are part of the millennial generation, and I'm pretty sure you are too, because you're not Gen X or Gen Z.
Nah, I'm a proud millennial.
Yeah, exactly. So the millennial society is all about, how can I make this come up? How can I become famous? How can I pursue something that's going to benefit me financially? Well, guess what? People have these clubs, these nightclubs, okay, that I want to call them. They are sex clubs. They are whatever freely goes club. It's like a coffee shop, right? So you go into the grocery store. Now, this is long time back. You go in the grocery store, these uppity communities, and I won't name any names of the communities, okay? It goes back to a simple fruit called a pineapple. If you know where I'm going, then you should know this, because it's going to be quite hilarious. So the pineapple, they put it in their grocery cart. If you put the pineapple upside down, that means you're looking for a swinging partner. Did anybody talk about that back in the day? No. Your grandma didn't tell you they were swinging back in the day. Your grandpa didn't tell you they were swinging back in the day. It was just you and your grandparents, right? So you go to the grocery store, you got this pineapple in there, just the same way with house keys. You go to a big party, you put it in a fishbowl, okay? It's called a house party. Put all your keys in the fishbowl. Whatever key you pull out, say it's a Mercedes, say it's whatever key, that's who you're going home and sleeping with. Did anybody say anything about that? No, because it's so taboo. You don't have these conversations with your just average Joe Blow. You can't go down to, say, Kroger, okay? Now, Kroger has this bar inside. No big deal. You go in there, you have a conversation with the bartender. Say, hey, how's your night going? Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, I'm good. She slides you her number. Oh, honey, I'm gay. I don't want that. I don't need that. I don't need your number. She's like, oh my God. Well, we can be best friends. I want to be your best friend. So we're all gay. You know, you want, if we get in the shower, you just will tell me my butt looks big and how perky my boobs are. I'm like, no, it's not like that. We'll go shopping. You can buy a couple of items. I tell you, yeah, if you look good or whatever. It's just, I come to the realization the less that you care, the better off that you are. But you've got to have those conversations.
And that's what, and that's where I take from a lot of things is I'm not gonna tell someone else how to live in their own house. I don't live there. I don't care what you do. I only care to the point that it starts to affect me on a deep level, not even on a surface level. Because I've had conversations with friends that talked about some instances when I used to live in San Diego. I've been hit on by guys, and it's like, what did you do? Did you beat his ass? I'm like, no. You know how many girls I've hit on who didn't want me?
Yeah.
Same thing. You just say, hey, nah, bro, I'm good. Like, and then it's okay. And from my experience, outside of just one time, it's been super respected because
of course
it is like people are out looking for what they're looking for. And if you're not what they're looking for, you know, if you say something once, okay, hey, bro, chill. 2 times, I'm not interested. 3 times, hey, now you're being disrespectful. And that changes the conversation. And I've gone to brunch in Hillcrest in San Diego. And when I tell some of my friends about it, like, you went to the gay district for brunch? I'm like, well, for when I went with a bunch of coworkers, and guess what? It was the cheapest brunch with some of the best food in the whole city. I'm paying $25-$30 for all I can eat and all I can drink. Ain't nobody about to bend me over in the middle of the bar, bro.
It's called boundaries.
Like, it's not, there's boundaries, and it's not as extreme and disrespectful as people think it is, but because it's been labeled as taboo, it's been sold to us in a totally different light. That is like, no, bro. It's these are people who have careers, they have jobs, they still have the same, they're dealing with some of the same shit that we deal with in the straight community. We're not that different.
No.
We just fuck different people. Let's just be honest. Exactly. That's all it is.
It shouldn't matter what goes on behind closed doors. First of all, it's nobody's business except yourselves.
Exactly. Nobody knows about what's happened with me and anybody behind closed doors except for me and the person I was behind closed doors with.
Exactly. And that's how it should be. But coming out in the community and stepping out of the community together as a couple, I feel like the fact that you get judged, but guess what? The same people that are judging you are the same people asking these questions when they go to their book clubs or when they go to their meetings or wherever they go. They're asking these questions. Well, how does this work? Are you a top? Are you a bottom? What's a verse? What's a leather daddy? Like, what's these questions? Who's there to teach them? Oh, just hush. We're not going to talk about that. See, and then they subside inside until they come out, and then it comes out towards anger. Then they get very angry. They get very confrontational. They get in your face. Just because someone will not explain the simple truth of, hey, this is what goes on. I can't give you a manual. Life didn't come with a manual. So I can't give you a manual of how each person deals with each person individually. I can't give you a manual for that, but I can steer you in the right direction.